All right, welcome to a new episode of what I'm calling now Reviews Done Poorly, because I don't have any editing software knowledge, any of that. So this is as good as it's gonna get. I'm going to try as hard as I can, not to say and a lot, as I'm relatively new to this. But if they do show up, I apologize. I'm a work in progress. Anyway, I just got done finishing up Rise of the Tomb Raider for the second time. I beat it originally when it first came out in 2015. I enjoyed it then. I enjoyed it the second time. Though there were some things that I did notice that I didn't necessarily like the second time through, and I'll get to that stuff here shortly. But Rise of the Tomb Raider really does kind of feel a little bit like a retread of the first game. Not so much in the sense of, doing all the same things again, but just more or less the same mechanics. Kind of like, what was it? The Last of Us 1 and 2. It was outside of the story. It was basically doing the same things over and over and over, which is okay. When the gameplay is good, you can get away with that. But yeah, going back to that, the thing that I appreciated more about the first game was Laura's kind of rise to becoming the Tomb Raider. I think that was more exciting. Whereas this one, she does seem more of like a selfish character, kind of out to do her own thing and doesn't really care about what happens to anybody else. She just has to find whatever she's looking for. Um, One thing I did notice towards the end of the game, and that I didn't notice before when I first played it, was some serious padding. The last quarter of the game, it felt like I was doing a lot of unnecessary stuff just to progress the game, um, and it kind of it really slowed the progression down. Like you go from one really big action scene, and then you'd be stuck trying to solve a puzzle, and then another puzzle, and then another puzzle, and then another puzzle, and another puzzle. And I get that. That's all part of like the whole Tomb Raider mythology and lore is puzzles, the puzzle solving Tomb Raider, obviously. Um, but when it slows down progression so much that it becomes just kind of like a chore, then it's not so much fun. Um, I did end up streaming the entire game on Twitch. That was a lot of fun. Had some really good times, some fun conversations on there. Um, but yeah, you know, looking back at it 5 years later, it's still a really good game. Um, they did a lot to improve the graphics, Laura's character model, her movements. Although I will say they do feel kind of slippery at times. And what I mean by that is when I was in combat or doing certain climbing activities and whatnot, it felt like she was really loose, and sometimes I would end up not snapping to cover or end up falling to my death for no reason, or at least I thought, no reason. But sometimes shit happens. But anyway, like I said, it's still worth the play 5 years later. It definitely, the first and second ones, in my opinion, are the best of the reboot trilogy. I'm going to be playing the third one on Twitch here pretty soon. So if you want to check that out, please, I'll actually be starting that tonight. Devil May Care 85 on Twitch. Check it out if you have time. If you played Rise of the Tomb Raider, I'd love to hear your thoughts, what you thought of it. Was it better than the first one? Was it more of the same? What did you think? Trying to think of anything else I really want to put on this because I don't want to hold you here forever. um, in the I guess some of the story elements, you could kind of see them coming. They didn't really do a very good job of covering up the plot twists. Um, you know, you could kind of see them coming from a mile away. I did like that it wasn't quite as linear as the first game. There were more open areas, more open spaces where you could adventure around, pick up extra materials, resources, and that. They did streamline, I felt, the whole resource and upgrading your weapons and things like that. That felt good. There was more tombs with more challenging puzzles, which, those are fun. It's always good to challenge yourself. Yeah. Anyway, that is my second episode of Reviews Done Poorly, and I know that this was trash, so I did my job. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, and hope to see you guys on the next episode. Thank you.